Thanks to a recent public consultation, Chessington World of Adventures has revealed its plans for a new expansion. Currently named Amazon Land, this project will include the construction of 2 family flat rides and a brand new coaster. For the latest on this new development, make sure you stick around to the end of the video to find out all the details. As always, if you are new here, then please consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any future uploads here on Coaster Connection. Now, believe it or not, the resort hasn't built a brand new roller coaster since 2004. This new expansion is a big deal for Chessington, which will make sure the theme park doesn't fall behind with its ever-increasing competition. For the last 5 years, Chessington has been heavily investing in reimagining areas of the park to give it a new lease of life. This includes reimagining Bubbleworks into the Gruffalo, and more recently with the newly updated Mystic East, now called Land of the Tiger. Whilst these new projects were well received, they're not technically completely brand new rides. Luckily, it looks like the theme park is starting to invest in new rides built from the ground up, with Croc Drop opening this year and potentially this new land being constructed. I'm now going to be answering various questions about the theme park's new expansion to help give you a better understanding of what's going to be built. I've left timestamps in the video's description if you want to jump to a particular section. As mentioned at the start of the video, on the 17th of May a public consultation started, which is an opportunity for the local community around the theme park to give their feedback on the plans. As this project features a roller coaster, this means that the ride could be visible from outside the park and has potential to make some additional noise. That's why the theme park has shared these plans so early in development, just to make sure it doesn't negatively affect the local community. Luckily for us, this means we can get a sneak peek at what the theme park is working on next. It's been announced that they are planning to construct 3 rides for this new expansion, with 2 of them being flat rides next to the main attraction being the roller coaster. They're currently considering 4 different options for the flat rides, but ultimately they will only be picking 2. They have shared some images of what these rides could look like, which you can see on your screen now. Some of these options include a family frog hopper ride and an interactive water attraction. Now when it comes to the coaster, very little details have been announced so far. Luckily, by looking at the aerial plans of the new land, we can see roughly where the coaster will go and how it will interact with the various paths and scenery found in the area. It appears to have a fairly short layout, which will most likely be a shuttle coaster. This meaning it will go through the circuit one way, reach a dead end, then return back to the station on the same track, but this time backwards. It hasn't been confirmed what company will be manufacturing the roller coaster yet, as they are currently in talks with multiple companies to see what they can do with the proposed site. They have however confirmed it will be a 1.4 height requirement ride, and the general layout for the coaster has already been agreed. If you've been on many coasters, especially the ones at Thorpe Park, you will know that a 1.4 height requirement is only ever used on the most thrilling rides. This has led a lot of people to believe that this will be the theme park's most thrilling coaster ever constructed that could potentially feature an inversion. On your screen now you can see what the coaster could potentially look like from a guest perspective. This has been created based on the plans revealed so far. The final ride is most likely going to look very different to this, but it's just a neat way of visualizing what's in the current plans. Some of the main features expected to appear on this roller coaster are multiple launches to propel the coaster throughout the layout, a fast fly over the main entrance, and a close encounter with a large theming element. As soon as we hear more details on what this new coaster will be, I'll be sure to share the news first on my social media accounts, which you can find links to in the video's description. Its current placeholder name is Amazon Land, and it's planned to be heavily landscaped around this theme. The main centerpiece of the land will be located towards the back of the site, which will heavily interact with the roller coaster. It appears to be a large lion statue or sculpture, but honestly this early in the project, it literally could be anything. The theme park has shared a concept art image of the roller coaster station, which looks nicely themed considering it's outdoors. Something very odd that fans online have already noticed about these plans is that the roller coaster station appears to load guests from either side. This is usually only ever done if it's a wing coaster with riders sitting next to the track instead of sitting above or below it. Personally, looking at the rough layout of the ride, including its tight banking, I don't think we'll be getting a wing coaster. I think people might just be looking into the plans a little too closely. Most coasters that pass through the station at high speeds often have barriers on both sides, just to make sure that there isn't any guests on the platform who could potentially injure themselves or injure the riders. Once the final plans are submitted to the local council, we'll get a much better look at what's actually going to be built. But until then, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. An exact opening date hasn't been publicly announced yet, but the theme park has shared a timeline of how they expect the project to progress. Once the public consultation finishes, if all goes well, they'll submit their final plans in early July, and if the planning is granted, construction would start in January of 2022. As this project is fairly large in scale, we can predict it will either open in 2023 or even 2024. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but if they need the extra time and money to complete it, I'll happily wait longer. Personally, I'm really excited about this project, and I can't wait to follow its construction if it gets approved. Let me know down below in the comments if you're excited for this new land, and what are your predictions on what the new coaster could be. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you did enjoy this video, then please consider sharing it with any of your friends or family who might find it interesting. My name's Luke from Coaster Connection, and I'll see you in my next video.